Our next guest, she's a very familiar face on television, critically acclaimed actress. This is Julianna Margulies, is known for playing very strong female leads in hit dramas. She became a household name back in the 1990s with a breakout role in the medical drama, I love this show, ER, starring opposite George Clooney.
Doug, I don't want to wake up alone tomorrow.
They were so good together. Her character, Nurse Carol Hathaway, Does That Take Me Back, was originally, listen to this, she was not even supposed to survive past the pilot, but she ended up stealing the audience's hearts, and she won her first Emmy Award. Margulies went on to win 2 more Emmys for her role as Alicia Florrick on the hit CBS show The Good Wife. In her new memoir, Sunshine Girl, An Unexpected Life, she shares intimate details from her childhood and life as an actress. Julianna Margulies joins us now. Julianna, I want to talk about ER, of course, but I first want to start with your book, because you say, listen, you're the youngest, rather, of 3 girls, and you said that when you're the youngest, you admit you got away with a lot of stuff, including, this is, I found it's hard to believe about you, obnoxious and loud in school. You sort of became the class clown to fit in. I just don't see you that way, Julianna Margulies. What was going on in your brain at that time?
No, well, that was, I think that was, so I write about that time in my life because it was when I had left England and come back to America, and I was trying to fit in with the kids. And I noticed that a lot of the girls were tomboys, and I thought that maybe if I acted like, more like a boy, and I could get attention that way and fit in that way. So for a while, I was actually nicknamed Julie Animal.
Yes.
As a third and fourth grader. By 5th grade, I started getting crushes on boys and realized that it was much better, perhaps not to beat them up, but to try and get them to like me. So I stopped being Julie Animal after that. Yeah, but boys, I was loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, I know that's hard to believe. Boys can be a good thing. You're right too. Your life was pretty chaotic. That both your mom and your dad were complicated. Tell us a little bit about your background, and that yet, despite all that, your mom still called you Sunshine Girl, which is where the title of the book comes from.
Yeah, so my mother named me Sunshine Girl when I was pretty much a little tiny baby. I was never that tiny because I weighed 10 pounds 4 ounces when I came out.
Wow. Wow.
So I don't think you could actually ever call me a tiny, tiny baby. But she named me Sunshine Girl because I didn't cry and I was always smiling. And that nickname, although I wore it as a badge of honor for most of my childhood because I thought, oh, I make people feel good, also could be crippling as I got older and didn't know how to say no to things, or was always worried about making someone upset if I said, no, that doesn't work for me, this works for me. So that nickname, I realized as I got older, actually was not such a badge of honor in my adult life.
Well, listen, you made a lot of headlines when you said no to ER. You had been on the show for 6 seasons, and they had offered you, you were leaving, but they offered you $27 million to stay for another 2 years. I think you were 31, 32 at the time, and you said no to that. I read that and I thought, gosh, if I was in that position, would I have said no? And my answer was, no, I would not have said no. I would have stayed another 2 years. But you turned it down. Why? That was unheard of at the time.
Yeah, and I only wrote about it because it seems to have defined me in this business in a way that I never imagined. So I wrote about it to put it to rest, to be honest with you. I wanted people to hear my side of the story. Everyone had their own ideas of who I was and why I would do something so crazy. And I admit it's crazy. I'm not stupid. I understand why people were so taken aback by that. So I write about it in the book, and one of the main reasons I said no was, first of all, my 6-year contract was over. George Clooney and I really were meant to be together on that show, and when he left in the 5th season and I had 1 year to go, which I was happy to do, I felt like my time was up and it was time to pass on to the next person who would play that kind of a character, maybe not Nurse Hathaway specifically, but carry on in that kind of a role, at least as a head nurse. And I had already secured a play John Robin Bates had written this play called The 10 Unknowns, which he had given me the summer before, saying he wrote the part with me in mind. Would I do it? I had already signed on to do The Mists of Avalon, which was a 4-month job in the in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and I was going to go and ride horses, which I was a horseback rider as a child. So I sort of had a year already planned, and then
so she was booked and busy. You were booked and busy.
I was booked and busy, but also I was ready to come home. I'm a New Yorker. I'm from the East Coast, and I had been in LA for 6 years, and my parents were here. My family was here, and I wasn't married. I had already paid my mortgage. To me, I was living the life. I thought, this is what I've always dreamed of being able to go and do the work. I was going off to do a play for $235 a week. It's not like I was imagining.
That was a big deal.
Movie star.
Well, I love Julianna Margulies. I love that you said in the book, everybody said, well, you wouldn't have, at $27 million, you wouldn't have to work anymore. And you thought, well, that's a ridiculous idea. I want to work.
Yeah, that was a strange argument to me, and that was pretty much everyone's argument, was you'll never have to work again. And I thought, but I love what I do, and ER has afforded me, hopefully, at least at that time, I felt a lifetime of acting. And so all these opportunities were dangling in front of me, and the only thing that would have stopped me from taking them was money. And to me, I mean, my father really helped me with that decision when he said, what if you got hit by a bus while you were waiting for those 2 years to go by so you could get rich?
Yeah.
What would your last thoughts be when you were lying there dying?
Yeah.
How did you live your last moments? Did you live them truthfully? Or were you waiting for money? Because you don't leave this planet with anything in your pocket but your soul, right?
Thank you, Mr. Margulies. We were teasing about George calling you. What, briefly, because we got to go, what did George call you to say? Because you said that phone call changed your life.
Yeah, so I had come back from doing the pilot. I died in the pilot. My character died in the pilot. I came back from doing the pilot, and I was about to take another job. And George left a message saying, I hear your character tested really well. Please don't take another job. I think they're going to offer you a series regular. And I took a gamble, and thank God for George.
Thank you, George Clooney. Also, Julianna, thank you so much. Do you know how good you have to be, though? You're going to get killed off in the pilot, and they say, you know, we should keep her.
Bring her back to life.
Let's bring her back to life. The name of the book is called Sunshine Girl. It goes on sale tomorrow wherever you like to buy your books.